Quick author's note before we get into the last chapter. I just want to say thank you to all the lovely people who come across this, who listen along, who read the fan fiction on Wattpad, or read and listen along. I really appreciate any and all support. This is actually unexpected creations that I really, really love, and I'm really glad that people over time like it. So thank you if you have come all this way to listen or read until the end. Without further ado, let's get into the last chapter. Part 34. Letting go for the better in the future. 2 months later. Well, it's been 2 months and a lot has happened, but I'm a work in progress. Harry, Ron, and Hermione individually had plans for what they wanted to do next. Unlike me, they missed out most of the 7th year. Harry wants to be an Auror, so I know he's going to be in a program. And maybe Ron will follow along, but I'm unsure. I recall that on the day of Fred's memorial, there was talk of Ron individually helping George at Weasley's Wizard Weasus. As a whole, each of my friends wanted to finish out the year and found a way somehow. As for me, I completed my 7th year like the others, but I've been battling with what I want to do. I will admit, it was rough leaving Hogwarts behind, and even Minerva mentioned that she would get me on board as a teacher assistant or something if I needed some time or work. Knowing Mom, I told her I'll keep it in mind. I thought about the ministry, but after all my friends dealt with and Mr. Weasley too, I'm not for it. Then, I thought about becoming an Auror like Harry, which is an option, as I'm brilliant and powerful enough as a Dumbledore to get away with it. I've also been thinking about maybe trying to become a potions teacher and maybe even fill out Severus's old spot someday at Hogwarts since, at the end of it all, I was also brilliant at potions. During my 6th year, Severus had even mentioned once to me that I would make a great potions teacher or start as a teacher assistant in potions and work my way up. Severus, speaking of him, it's been really rough trying to slowly let go and move on. After all this time, I finally have thoroughly learned and accepted Dad's death. I know he's at peace. But Severus is as fresh and burned into my brain that I have nightmares some nights, and Harry wakes up and has to calm me down. I go and visit Severus's and Dad's grave sometimes, just sitting and talking out loud. It's actually been helping me cope the most, which Harry can even tell. Sometimes he comes with me and pays his respects and swears on my father's grave that he'll treat his daughter right and love her. It's funny because it's almost like maybe Dad had an inner feeling about how me and Harry really felt towards each other and being together. I know a part of me will forever love Severus deeply, but Harry is the closest I've ever come to feel about anyone other than Severus in that way. Even still today, I think Severus didn't deserve to die, and that fact will forever haunt me until I, too, someday pass away. I'll say this. I couldn't have gotten through Severus's death if it wasn't for the people around me. I know I have to let go. It's just so hard to. But it'll get better and easier with time. Having Harry as my boyfriend and not just my best friend is the most comforting part of this time in my life. He's supportive, understanding, and also very sweet, even though he has always had a soft spot for me since my 1st year. It was different at first. Instead of just being friends, he and I have love for each other beyond friendship. He knows at the end how I felt about Severus, but also realizes now that me and him were slowly falling for each other and just never said anything. I'm starting to see a real future with Harry. Maybe someday we can get married and have a family of our own. We were nervous and unsure about our relationship, especially knowing that Ginny felt the same way about him too. But she thinks I'm better off with him and remain tight friends, including her and Harry too. At first, after Hogwarts, me and Harry went back to the Weasleys' house and stayed with them since I wasn't emotionally or mentally ready for that yet. At the same time, Mr. and Mrs. Weasley wanted to look out for me and Harry, so they didn't mind at all. Hermione joined us when she could, but she also wanted to go back and get her Muggle parents back since she made them forget about her to keep them safe. Now, since things are safe again, she wants to restore those memories and bring them back home. Knowing that Dad's private home was now mine, Harry didn't want me to live alone, so he came and moved in with me. He's been living with me since. I don't think he's going to ever leave either, which is a lovely feeling. I still recall something that Harry pointed out first. "Hey, Paige, come here," I heard Harry exclaim. "What is it, Harry?" I asked as I walked into the living room. He grabbed a picture frame from on top of the mantel on the fireplace. "It's a photo of you with Snape." "Wait, what?" "Yeah, see for yourself." I grabbed it and looked at it. It was of me and Severus in front of the Black Lake, standing in front of each other, holding hands and staring into each other's eyes. How in the hell did it get here? I haven't been here in ages, Harry." "Was Snape here sometime?" I thought back for a moment and my eyes got wide. Yes, he was. He was here when he dropped off some of Dad's private stuff from his office so it wouldn't get ruined or anything of the sort. I looked at Harry as he looked at me, both of us glancing down at the silver picture frame. I smiled as I felt tears in my eyes. This is probably one of the only pictures we took together, and I persuaded him because I told him I wanted a future memory to look back on. So, on a weekend, Dad went with us and took it. I don't know what happened to it, and Severus never told me either. Maybe this is why, Paige. He wanted to surprise you, and he placed it on a spot where it could be easily seen. I didn't say anything more as Harry comfortably grabbed my hand and held on to it, watching a teardrop falling on the frame. Now, that same picture in that silver frame remains on the fireplace on the mantel where it'll stay. I keep seeing memory of the person who meant everything to me. Harry thinks it's the perfect place, right next to the picture of me and my parents from when I was a baby. Anyway, when I was ready to deal with that stuff, Harry helped out as I already knew he would. It didn't take long for me to realize that I needed Uncle Abe. I just wasn't sure if he would show up. He showed up and stayed at home with Harry and me to help out as long as I needed it. After the whole thing with Severus's burial, he was worried about his only niece and how I would deal with his death. Uncle Abe and I are beginning to build on a good stable relationship again and want to keep it that way as we know we only have each other. He's mostly at his bar nowadays, but he often writes to me and keeps in mind to visit me now and then. He's not the only one who comes by for visits. Hagrid is one of them. After me and Harry have gotten so close to him, neither of us could fully part ways with him. I told Hagrid while I'll be living and invited him to visit whenever, even if he wanted to bring rock cakes or just for a simple chat. He's not the only one either. Mom comes by too often. Yes, she may be headmistress and repairing the school, but she makes time to see me. I know our mother and daughter type relationship will continue in life. We love each other, and she and Harry have started to get close as well. Ron and Harry have started to come by, but want to more than they can. And I know their relationship is going well. I can see a future with them too. I just know it. I have so much love and people who are around me that it's all I need. Even though I'm figuring things out, I know with Harry and others by my side, I can accomplish anything. Years later. Now and then, I still go to Dad's and Severus's grave to visit and talk to them. Today was one of those days when Harry decided to come with me. Some days are better than others, even though grief has no time frame. It'll never be easy. I know Severus and Dad are at peace, but it hasn't been easy going on without them. It's hard letting them go still, not having my dad and the man who was my first lover, but also my savior in my life. Harry knows this. I still scream and cry, but I try to smile or laugh through all the memories. I smile with lust or with love at the sexy or romantic memories I recall from me and Severus. I can't tell them the good news I end up having in my life. It's hard. But as I sit on the ground by their graves, I feel the wind whip around me, sensing that they're here with me. Well, Dad, Severus, it's been a while since I visited, and I'm sorry. Ron and Hermione got married. Yes, you heard that right. Now, so am I to Harry. As you know, I was engaged before one of our previous visits. I decided to teach potions at Hogwarts. Harry's an Auror. Severus, I'm filling your position with your memory in mind. Mom's still headmistress. Things are great. I know you both would be proud. It's never easy, and I know I'll see you both again someday. But until that day comes, a part of me will be missing. I rubbed my belly as I felt Harry kneel behind me. I wish you guys could see it now. I'm 5 months pregnant with my first child. Harry placed his hand on my shoulder as I placed my hand over top of his. A tear fell down my cheek as I wiped it and stippled, feeling emotional. I hold on to whatever memories or physical objects I can. Severus, I know you and I would have had this future together. It still hurts you're not here. You and Dad would be happy to see how happy me and Harry are together, especially as a married couple. I'm living life. It's not easy some days, but I'm doing it. Not a day goes by that I don't ever think of either of you. I miss you both so much, and I forever will. You know this. I sniffled and sighed. I'll come and visit more when I can. I'll continue to live my life happily and recall the memories while smiling. But there is one happy thing you both can know. Me and Harry will be having a boy, and we're thinking of 2 names. But one boy will certainly be named after you both. It's going to be either Albus Severus or James Sirius. Thank you, Dad and Severus, for giving me everything you could. I love you and miss you both, as I will, always and forever. Glancing at their graves for the final time for now, Harry helped me up as we held hands and left the area. The future is unknown, but I'll never forget Severus Snape and my father for what they've given me. I'll hold their memories close to my heart and live life happily, the best I can, for as long as I can. Always. The end.